Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're doing well today, wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're listening to this on your way to work, or while you're tidying up at home, or perhaps you're just sitting with a cup of tea, taking a quiet moment for yourself. Wherever you are, thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. Today's topic is something simple, but at the same time incredibly powerful. It's a phrase you might have heard before. Nothing changes if nothing changes. It sounds obvious, doesn't it? Almost too simple. But behind these 5 words lies an idea that can completely reshape your life if you let it. So let's talk about it. Let's take this phrase apart, piece by piece, and see what it means for you, for me, and for all of us who want to grow, improve, and live with more purpose. Let's begin with a simple truth. Human beings are creatures of habit. We like what's familiar, even if it's not always good for us. We cling to routines, patterns, and comfort zones because they make us feel safe. But sometimes the same habits that keep us feeling safe are the very things that keep us stuck. Think about it. How many times have you wished for something to be different? Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you wish your relationships were healthier. Maybe you want to feel stronger, fitter, or happier. You might daydream about it. You might even complain about how things are. But then you wake up tomorrow and do the exact same things you did yesterday. And the day after that, you do it all over again. And yet somehow you expect something to magically change. Here's the thing. Nothing changes if nothing changes. It's not just a catchy saying, it's a fact. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If you want a different result, you have to make a different choice. You have to do something differently. And I know that sounds obvious. Of course we know this, right? We all understand, at least on the surface, that if we want new results, we need new actions. But knowing something and living it are 2 very different things. So, let's ask the hard questions. Why is it so hard to change? Why do we hold ourselves back, even when we say we want to grow? Part of the answer is fear. Change means stepping into the unknown. It means letting go of the familiar, even if the familiar is uncomfortable or painful. We're wired to avoid uncertainty because uncertainty feels risky. Your brain doesn't like risk. It wants you to stay safe. And safe often means staying exactly where you are. But here's the truth. Staying where you are can be the biggest risk of all. When you stand still for too long, you don't stay in the same place. You slowly move backwards. Time keeps moving whether you do or not. The world keeps changing around you. And if you don't grow, life has a way of pushing you out of your comfort zone, whether you're ready or not. So, what can we do about it? How do we break out of our old patterns? How do we move from wishing things were different to actually making them different? It starts with self-honesty. It starts with the courage to look at your life and say, this isn't working, or this could be better. And instead of blaming other people or bad luck or the economy, you look in the mirror and say, if I want this to change, I have to change. It's not about blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It's about taking responsibility. Responsibility is powerful because it puts the control back in your hands. You can't control everything, but you can control your actions, your choices, your habits, and your mindset. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you want to get fitter. Every night you tell yourself, tomorrow I'll start going for a run. But tomorrow comes and it's raining, or you're tired, or there's something good on TV. So you don't run. And the next day, the same thing happens. Weeks go by. You feel frustrated with yourself. You wonder why you're not seeing any changes. But deep down, you know the answer. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
This idea applies to every part of life: your health, your work, your friendships, your finances, your dreams. If you're not happy with something, ask yourself, what's one thing I could do differently? One small thing. You don't have to flip your life upside down overnight. Big change is usually the result of many small changes added up over time.
Sometimes people think they need to feel ready before they act. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait to feel inspired or confident or fearless. But the truth is, action often comes before motivation, not the other way around. Think about it. How many times have you forced yourself to do something you didn't want to do, and once you got started, you felt better? Momentum builds motivation. Taking action tells your brain, hey, we're doing this now, and slowly your mind catches up. Of course, change isn't easy. If it were, we'd all be living our dream lives by now. It takes effort. It takes consistency. It takes patience. And sometimes it takes trying and failing and trying again. But that's okay. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. I want to share a short story with you. Years ago, I had a friend who always dreamed of moving abroad. Every time we met for coffee, she'd talk about it. She'd say, one day I'm going to live in Spain. I'll learn Spanish. I'll wake up to sunshine every day. She read books about Spain. She watched Spanish films. She even bought a guidebook and kept it on her coffee table. But she never took a Spanish class. She never saved up money. She never applied for a visa. 5 years later, she was still living in the same flat, in the same city, dreaming the same dream. Now, there's nothing wrong with dreams. Dreams are beautiful, but dreams without action stay dreams. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to change your life, you have to change your life. It's that simple and that difficult. So, let's make this practical. Let's say there's something in your life you want to change. What could you do today, just today, to take one tiny step in that direction? Maybe you want a new job. Could you update your CV tonight? Could you send one email? Could you spend 15 minutes researching opportunities? Maybe you want to get healthier. Could you go for a short walk after dinner? Could you swap your fizzy drink for water just once today? Maybe you want to feel more connected to people. Could you call a friend you haven't spoken to in ages? Could you send a text or make a plan to meet for coffee? Small changes, tiny steps. That's how it begins. And here's something else to remember. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You don't have to feel brave or confident first. You can be scared and still do it anyway. You can be unsure and still try. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means you do it despite the fear. And please don't underestimate what small changes can do. You might not see the results straight away. You might not feel like you're making progress. But tiny steps, repeated consistently, can transform everything. Think about a drop of water falling on a rock. One drop does nothing. 100 drops, still nothing. But over time, thousands and millions of drops can wear away stone. Your habits are like those drops of water. They shape your future slowly, quietly, day by day. Another thing to remember is that you don't have to do it alone. Change is hard, but support makes it easier. Tell someone what you're trying to do. Find a friend who will encourage you, or join a group of people with the same goal. Accountability is powerful. When other people know what you're trying to change, it's harder to back out. And finally, be kind to yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight. You will slip up. You will have days when you don't do what you plan to do. That's okay. What matters is that you get back up and try again. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week or a bad month or a bad year. Forgive yourself and keep going. So, let's bring it back to the beginning. Nothing changes if nothing changes. It's a simple truth, and it's also an invitation. An invitation to take responsibility for your life, to let go of excuses, to take that first small step towards the future you want. Before I sign off, I want to leave you with this. You are not stuck. You are not powerless. You can change. It might be slow, it might be messy, but you can do it, one small choice at a time. So, thank you for listening today. I hope these words remind you that you have more power than you think. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who might need to hear it too. And if you'd like, let me know what you're changing. I'd love to hear about it. Until next time, take care of yourself. Keep going, keep growing, and remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Goodbye for now.